Hello everybody, this is back in another video. Alright, my tensions on the world. We had 128 players in the draw when this US Open started 2 weeks ago. We have only 2 left men standing, and those 2 left men standing are, no surprise, Jannik, the world number one, the player who has won the most titles this year, 5, and the world number 12, Fritz, the American player, the first American player to play a Grand Slam final in 15 years. The last man who did that was Andy Roddick back in 2009 in Wimbledon against Roger Federer. The first American player to get to a US Open final in 18 years. The last player who did that was the same guy, Andy Roddick, back in 2006. Who also lost to Federer as well. And let's see if Fritz can be the first American player to win a Grand Slam title in 21 years. Last player who did that was also Andy Roddick back in 2003, where he won his first and only Grand Slam title in his career. It is a huge mountain for Fritz to climb here. He is a huge underdog. We all know that. Let's talk a little about the semi-final before I preview the final. Jannik Sinner, he won in straight sets against Jack Draper. Never looked in trouble there. It was a one-way traffic, even though the sets were pretty close. But he never looked in trouble to lose in one set. Yeah, the second set went to a tiebreak, but he steamrolled Jack Draper in that second set tiebreak. So Jannik, he looked fabulous, serving big, doing 65% first serve sin, landing 65% first serve sin, winning 77% in his first serve, winning 74% on his second serve, 74. Winning, if you win that many points in your second serve. Man, do you know how rare you see tennis players winning over 70% behind the second serve, like Jannik was doing against Jack Draper? Doing 43 winners and 34 unforced errors, so he was doing 9 more winners than unforced errors. Jack Draper, he did a solid match. It was not like he was a disaster, but he was just, even though he has won 5 matches coming into this match against Sinner without dropping one set, that doesn't matter. We have seen that kind of script before. To mention one, Nadal back in 2019 Australian Open, where he was winning 6 matches without dropping one single set, and many people believe that Nadal will now also defeat Djokovic. I was not one of them, but we all know how that ended. Nadal was steamrolled in that Australian Open final against Djokovic in straight sets. And the same thing, not exactly the same score, but Jack Draper also got beat in straight sets. Jack Draper, he won 67% behind his first serve. He won 48% behind his second serve. And he does only 29 winners and 43 unforced errors. He does 14 more unforced errors than winners. That is the melody with these players. Before they come into their big test, they look so good. Like Draper looked against De Minaur, where he was doing 40 winners, 30 unforced errors, 10 more winners and unforced errors against De Minaur in the quarterfinals. All that changes when you face a much better opponent. Like I usually say, you play as good tennis as your opponents allows you. That is how tennis works, and that is how sports in general works, and not only tennis. You are as good as your opponent allows you. I've seen Federer throughout the years looking superior before he was facing Nadal and Djokovic, and he was getting beaten in semifinals and finals in majors. Not all the time, but many times. The other semi-final was a much closer one between Fritz and Tiafoe, the all-American semi-final showdown. Last time 2 Americans played a US Open semi-final was 19 years ago. 2005 between Andre Agassi and Ginepri. So who ended as the winner here? You know it by now. It was Taylor Fritz. I actually thought that Taylor Fritz would win more easily this one, but that was closer than I thought. Taylor Fritz was 2 sets to 1 down. All respect to Tiafoe, who has done a tremendous great run this couple of weeks here in the United States, playing the final in Cincinnati, losing to Sinner there in straight sets, and now doing a deep round here at US Open. But that is typically Taylor Fritz. Not Taylor Fritz, I mean Tiafoe. That is typically Tiafoe. He does his best runs in Grand Slams at US Open. He has never done better runs in the other three majors like Australian Open, French Open, and Wimbledon. His best runs always comes at US Open. And he pushed Taylor Fritz to 5 sets, but he gassed out towards the end of that match, starting in the 4th set. He said after the match, "I was not tired. I just shut down mentally." That was his words. So in the end, Taylor Fritz, he weared Frances Tiafoe down physically and mentally. Taylor played a pretty solid match. Won 75% on his first serve, won 65% on his second serve, did 42 winners, 35 unforced errors. He does 7 more winners than unforced errors, which is pretty good numbers. Tiafoe, he won 80% on his first serve, so he was actually winning more points on his first serve than Fritz. But the huge difference was winning points behind his second serve. Tiafoe was winning 45% behind his second serve. Fritz was winning 65% behind his second serve, which is a huge difference there. And Frances did 38 winners and 50 unforced errors, so Frances does 12 more unforced errors than winners. All in all, the better player won. The 4 first sets were pretty close. It was neither of the sets was one-sided, but the 5th, for God's sakes, in the 5th set, Frances was completely gassed out physically and mentally. Call it what you want, and Taylor won the 5th set 6-1. Frances Tiafoe could not hold serve once in that 5th set. Even that game he won in that 5th set, it was in Fritz serve. He broke Fritz serve in that 5th set. When he won his only game in that 5th set, he couldn't hold serve one time in that 5th set, Frances Tiafoe. And if that happens to you, you really don't deserve to be in the Grand Slam final, which he is not. All right. Enough about those 2 matches. Let's preview this US Open final on Sunday between Jannik Sinner, the world number 1, versus Taylor Fritz, the world number 12. They faced each other 2 times. It is 1-1 in the head-to-head. Last time they faced each other, I believe it was in Indian Wells 2023 match that Jannik Sinner won in 3 sets. So they're going to face each other in a Grand Slam tournament. This will be the first Grand Slam tournament that. This will be the first time that they're facing each other in a Grand Slam tournament. Look, Taylor Fritz is a huge underdog. I will say what he needs to do to defeat Jannik Sinner. First of all, he needs to serve higher percentage of first serve than he did against Frances Tiafoe. I believe he landed 58% first serve against Frances Tiafoe. Now he come away with that because I believe that Frances served even worse than that. I believe Frances served 54% first serve sin. Like always, when you're an underdog and when you don't have the upper hand from a baseline, which of course Fritz doesn't have. Fritz doesn't have a better backhand than Sinner. Fritz doesn't have a better forehand than Sinner. Fritz doesn't have better net game than Sinner. Fritz doesn't have better returns than Sinner. The only thing Fritz has slightly better, and this is slightly, is the serve. And he needs to try to beat Sinner with his big weapon. And he needs to serve lights out. Like I said, when Djokovic faced Alcaraz in that Olympic final gold match, I said that Djokovic needs to serve lights out to have a chance against Alcaraz, which he did. Djokovic landed 74% first serve serve, one of the highest first percentage of serves I have ever seen Djokovic land. Fritz needs to be over 70% in landing first serve serve to have a chance against Jannik Sinner. To just have a chance. I'm still not sure if he will win. But if he is over 70%, he has a huge chance of winning. He cannot give Jannik Sinner too much looks of second serves. Jannik Sinner is probably the greatest serve returner in the world at the current moment. Djokovic is the greatest serve returner of all time, but Djokovic is not the greatest serve returner at this current moment. It is Jannik Sinner, it is Carlos Alcaraz, and I will put Novak Djokovic third in that list. So Fritz needs to make sure he needs to land a lot of first serves. That is his big first key to win the match. The second thing is Fritz needs to stay toe to toe with Jannik Sinner from the baseline, and especially avoid the backhand to backhand cross court exchanges, because I truly believe that Sinner has a much better backhand than Fritz, especially backhand to backhand cross court exchanges. You can see that in the quarterfinal match, where we all know that Medvedev has one of the best backhands in the world, especially in those cross court backhand exchanges. Jannik Sinner was taking him down in those cross court backhand exchanges, the Russian bear. And Fritz doesn't have a better cross-court backhand than Medvedev. So he needs to avoid those cross-court backhand exchanges against Jannik Sinner. And Fritz needs to hit as many forehands as possible, because his forehand is much better than his backhand, according to me. Even though Fritz's backhand is not bad, but he can do a lot of unforced errors with his backhand, especially when he tries to go big, which he needs to do against Sinner. So Fritz needs to serve big, and Fritz needs to take and Fritz needs to hit as many forehands as possible. The third thing is Fritz needs to attack the net with success. He could go in long exchanges, in long rallies against Francis Tiafoe, and many times he ended up as the winner in those long, brutal rallies against Tiafoe. Sinner is not Tiafoe. Sinner is the rule number one for a reason. He is a big hitting player from the baseline, both with forehand and backhand. He can go long in rallies. He can finish off the points at the net. He's much better at the net, Jannik Sinner, nowadays than he was a couple of years ago. So Fritz needs to finish off the points before the rallies go over 20 plus shots. Especially, he needs to try to win the short rally lengths. Usually in tennis, when you win the short rally lengths, you 80% of the times end as the winner. So Fritz needs to win that short rally length battle. And the fourth key, he needs to take his chances, like it is usually in tennis. In tennis, the players who wins the matches, usually 52 to 54% of the times a tennis player wins the points in the matches. You barely see blowouts results. If you look at historically at the greatest tennis players of all time, Djokovic, Nadal, and Federer, they have won 52 to 54 of the percentage of the points during their careers. So it is not like they have won 60% or 65% of the points during their careers. It is not that huge of a difference. So Fritz needs to take his chances when it gets them. When he has breakpoint opportunities to break Sinner's serve, which I believe he will have, not maybe many because Sinner is serving big, but when he has those few, he needs to take it. And when he also faces breakpoint opportunity against him, he needs to play clutch. He needs to serve big. He needs to out-clutch Sinner. There you have my 4 keys to Fritz win the match. What is the keys for Jannik Sinner to win the match? He just needs to continue being an American killer like he has been the entire tournament. He defeated two American players, two nobody of American players that we have not heard much about in the first two rounds, the first round and the second round, and then he defeated the third American player in this year's Open tournament in the fourth round, Tommy Paul, in straight sets, and now I believe he will finish off the job in defeating the highest ranked American player and the fourth American player in this tournament in Taylor Fritz. Taylor Fritz is the number one American player, so and the highest American player, and so he's the fourth man that Jannik Sinner will finish off, who is an American player in this year's US Open 2024. So he just needs to continue playing big hitting tennis from the baseline, both forehand and backhand, serving big, returning big. Jannik Sinner's returns are just fabulous. The match against Draper, I just felt that even Draper was playing close sets against Sinner. I knew that Jannik will break Draper's serve much more than what Draper will break Jannik's serve, which was the case. I believe Jannik broke Draper's serve 3 times out of 4 breaks opportunities that he had, so he was very, very effective in breaking Draper's serve, even though he didn't create tremendous many break push opportunities because Draper was serving really good. And Draper broke Sinner's serve only once out of 4 break push opportunities that he had. So even this match, Sinner's returns are much better than Fritz. So Sinner is the huge favorite here. So Sinner just needs to play that kind of a tennis like he has played the entire tournament. Big from the baseline, serving big, returning big. He doesn't need to do something special here. I think that this match is on Sinner's racket, not in Fritz's racket. Fritz needs to play lights out tennis to win this final. All the 6 opponents that have defeated Fritz in this tournament, it is a completely different story what he will face now. Fritz has looked good. He has defeated some really good players on the way, like Berrettini in the second round, Casper Ruud in the 4th round, then Zverev in the quarterfinal, and then Tiafoe in the semifinal. But he will get a completely different ball to hit here in the final. The ball from Sinner will come much faster, much deeper, much harder. The serves will come much bigger from Sinner, especially the returns. Nobody will take his teeth in Fritz's serve like Sinner will do in this final. So Sinner just needs to play his game, really. Stay aggressive, not do something special here. Even though the head-to-head is 1-all, but it was a long time ago where Fritz has defeated Sinner. It was a couple of years ago, and that wasn't a best of 3 set match. Even though Fritz is saying that I like playing Sinner, I play close to him, I don't think he will say these words when this match is finished. So I just think that Sinner's heavy hitting from the baseline, Sinner's clean ball striking from the baseline, Sinner's big serving, Sinner's unbelievable returning, because according to me, Sinner is the best returner in the world at the current moment, especially on hard courts. I believe that Fritz will just be kind of surprised what he will see on the court on Sunday. That is my feeling. I'm pretty convinced that Sinner will win this match. The big question is here: will it take 1 set, or will he lose in straights? That is my feeling. Like I said about Jack Draper, they all look good, and they all are doing more winners than Aposteros before they face Sinner. Exactly like Draper did at the Binal, 40 winners, 30 Aposteros before he faced Sinner. And then he did only 29 winners and 43 Aposteros against Sinner, Draper. And the same scenario will be with Fritz. Fritz was looking pretty good, pretty solid against Tiafoe with 42 winners and 35 Aposteros, 7 more winners than Aposteros. But all that will change when they are facing. All that changes when they are facing Sinner, the man to beat at this year's US Open, especially when Alcaraz and Djokovic crashed out early in the tournament. I believe that Sinner will defeat Taylor Fritz in straight sets. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and see you next time. Peace.